Okay, the first thing you need is garbanzo beans. I have non-GMO garbanzo beans. You want to soak them at least 2 hours. I like to do the bag because the bag gives it a little bit more texture if you do them out of the bag instead of the can. But you could probably do them either way. So this is about maybe a pound of garbanzo beans. You need one medium onion, and I like to do my mix. This is the Andhra mix, Indian mix. You need fennel seeds, and then I have my onion powder. I have my tahine seasoning, and of course my sea salt. Then I use these are red peppers. It's jalapeno red peppers that you can get at Aldi's. If you don't want to go to Aldi's, I'm sure they have these at the grocery store. Just get red pepper and oil, but it really helps the blend really break down really well. Gives a lot of flavor, and then add a touch of a little bit of heat. As you can see, that's spicy jalapeno and roasted red pepper. Then I have my arugula, and this one is a mix with spinach. And I usually just get the arugula by itself, and of course my mushrooms. Then ground cinnamon, oregano, paprika, smoked paprika, and my cloves. And then I have my chili powder. You're going to put all your seasonings in your bowl, in your what is this, not a blender but a food processor. And then as you can see, I did add a bell pepper, and I'm getting ready to add my mushrooms and my leafy stuff. I added all of this. I did add thyme. I didn't show you the thyme, but as you can see, the thyme is in there. And I just do them in whole because it's going to chop it all up. But yeah, let's finish putting all the other ingredients in there. And like I said, you can use as much seasoning. You know, I'm heavy-handed on the seasoning, so I went all in. Probably did a couple of teaspoons of cinnamon, and I just was heavy-handed on pretty much all of the seasonings. Maybe about a teaspoon of sea salt, a teaspoon of chili powder, paprika. I still have to put in there, but I'll kind of show you how I toss all that in there. A tablespoon of oregano, and if you have a lot of times I like to put in what's the oregano, and then the basil. Yeah, about a tablespoon of both of those. So yeah, and then you can taste it, and if you need a little bit more sea salt. And then also we're gonna add the agave. Add some of that in there too. I'm telling you, I know it seems a lot, but my goodness, it's the best burger that not a burger. I'm telling you, it's gonna be delicious. Okay, so I got my smoked paprika. I've already put in all my other seasonings like I told you. And as you can see, I'm being very generous on how much I put in here. I am generous, and I know chefs are probably like, oh my goodness, what is going on over there? But I love it. So I just do what I like to eat. And this is gonna kind of taste like maybe a barbecue burger, kind of like that. That's why I put the cloves, smoked paprika, the chili powder, because I'm kind of making my own barbecue-ist type of seasoning. So I put a little bit of cloves in there. You know, we can't leave the cloves out. And I do like chili powder, so I'm putting it in there. But you can kind of season it up the way that you like it. And like I said, I put the tahine in there in order to add a little bit of a zest. But it's really good with that tahine, I found, putting that in there. Anyway, after we do that, we're going to add our mushrooms. This is going to pull it all together, keep it sticking. And if you find that when you grind this, it's a little bit moist, that's okay. Just make sure your heat is high enough that it gives it a nice crisp as soon as it hits the oil. And we're going to just put this in here. I'm going to just stuff it in. I kind of got this overstuffed. Let's grind this down and then we'll put some more leaves in there. And then I also forgot to show you, of course, my 100% grapeseed oil. I got this at Aldi's. Get it at either Walmart or Aldi's, as long as it's 100%, you know, non-GMO grapeseed oil. It's good with me. All right. And we're just going to grind this in. And just put the top on here. Usually I do 2 batches because I don't really want it to be overly full like this, like it is right now. So we just turn that on. Let's turn it off and we're gonna stir. We gotta push that in there. And you know what I did forget? To add my agave. So let's put the agave in there. And this is probably about a tablespoon or so. Tablespoon and a half. And then I forgot. We're going to put our peppers in. This, I don't know. This just gives it a little kick. I did that one other time. I used to not do this, but it really is good. You can probably find these peppers and by themselves without having to buy the whole, you know, quinoa kit. But you can get those in a jar somewhere. Anyway, we're going to add a little bit. Since I've added that and we kind of grinded it down, let's add some more arugula and our spinach. And like I said, normally I get just the arugula by itself. But we're going to put the rest of that in there. Just the rest. It was really probably about less than half of this left. I had made another batch, and so we love, my son and I, we love these vegan burgers, and so I make them all the time. And my husband loves it too. He eats it, but you know, he likes to have a variety of things. I more like to stick with vegan, and so I don't eat a lot of meat and stuff that he likes to eat. Okay, now we're gonna go. All right, now let's open this up and make sure it's stirred well. Let's get everything in there. Let me get this, everything ground up well. Then we'll look at the consistency of this, and we're gonna start frying these up. And as you can see, I didn't use all of them. I used almost all of it, but I left just a little bit more. I mean, I usually don't use a whole bag of mushrooms, maybe a half bag, but today I did use a little bit extra, as I see there, than a half bag. I mean, a half container of mushrooms. I'm gonna just get all that in. And this will be the last time because it's looking mighty good. You can always taste. I say, you know, taste. Make sure you got enough sea salt. Flavors are hitting. It is a bit spicy, but that's okay. Okay, we have our pan here. I'm going to turn it on. We're going to fill it up. Let's put some oil in here. We're going to get this going. Get this going, and then we're going to go get our mixture. And we have enough to we were going to put about halfway, fill it up. Not 1/2, a little more than 1/3. And if you need more, you just add more. All right, we're going to look at this, and as you can see, it's kind of looks like ground meat a little bit. So that's kind of the consistency. As you can see, I'm going to have to ground this up just a little bit more, and then we'll get it into a bowl. Mercy. All right, that's done, and as you can see, that looks seasoned, and it kind of reminds you of hamburger meat in there. The chickpeas, you just soak them, like I said, you know, a couple of hours, but they give you texture, you know, that a lot of the vegan burgers don't give you. When you bite into them, it's like mush. This actually gives you texture, and then you mix that up with those mushrooms, and it kind of balances out, because if you just use the chickpeas, then it's too rough. So we're just gonna, with my spoon, I like to just kind of make a ball with the spoon. And you got to make sure that your oil is nice and warm. And as you can see, this oil is. And I just drop them in there. And as you can see, they just start to go ahead and fry. You want to make it, have your oil up high enough till you get a fry, dropping them in. All right. And just keep dropping them in. If you notice that your oil, I mean, they're not frying quickly, you need to turn it up. But this oil is just perfect. It is kind of a lot of oil right now, which I really don't usually have it this much, but it's okay. I just did that much because I didn't want to add it any later, but really you can have it just half of what I did. But I have so much that I'm going to be going, this oil is going to, you know, go through. And don't worry about it, because like I said, grapeseed oil is a very healthy oil. So you don't have to worry about cholesterol and all of that. It's made out of grape seeds. And I'm going to just turn this up a little bit. Let me get my spatula. All right, I have my spatula. I had to wash it because I was cooking earlier, but let's get these turned over. And as you can see, that's nice and crispy. I'm gonna just flip those over like so. If I don't make, you know, throwing grease and oil around. Whew, that one was an accident. But you want to make sure they're nice and crispy before you turn. Really, I like that color. It reminds me of a real burger. It looks like a burger by the time you get them out. Get my plate out. So we'll let these fry at least about 3 minutes on each side, you know, 2 to 3. It may, like your first batch may not be that long because, you know, as soon as it hits that oil, it's going to darken up and it's going to be really hot and cooking that well. So maybe about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. All right, it's time to get these out. So we're going to go ahead. I got my plate over here. And I did put a little paper on there to kind of catch some of that oil. And as you can see, that looks just like a hamburger. Color and all, and that oil is not even going to be oily. I know it looks like a lot of oil, but it will not be oily when you start to, you know, eat those. You're going to not taste it because right there, it's going to, that oil is just going to come right out of those. It's going to be nice and juicy though inside because it is kind of a wet, you know, it is kind of a wet, you know, dough. Not dough, I don't know what to call it. A mixture. So it is kind of moist, a wet, moist mixture, just like hamburger meat. You know what I mean? If you touch hamburger meat, it's not dry. So, you know, it's going to be juicy, a juicy burger. But with a lot of flavor because you've given all those seasonings. You packed it with seasoning. You give nothing but flavor with the onions, the bell peppers, everything that you put in, the arugula, and it's healthy, all healthy. So it's almost it's a guilt-free burger, pretty much. And don't worry about the calories. You need a little bit of oil in your diet. Even though you got a lot of grapeseed oil, you need that oil. That's healthy oil. I mean, if you ever been on a vegan diet, you need that oil. Believe me, I do things like this so I don't lose too much weight. I mean, or else I would look like a beanpole. So you need this oil. And right now your house should be smelling delicious. Because that's what I'm smelling here. My son just came in. He was like, ooh, it smells good. So there we go. Second batch. We're going to cook these up. And then we will come back and show you the final result of all of this deliciousness. Or maybe I'll come halfway when most of this oil is kind of gone down. I'll show you that it does, you know, see if we gauge this oil correctly or maybe we did too much. So we'll do that when I'm about almost done with the last batch. Also, I was going to tell you, you have to be very careful when you turn these. Try to do it like, you know, all in one. Just scoop under it and flip it. And also, if you try to flip these before you get this crust on there, it's gonna fall apart. It's gonna disintegrate. So you want to just, once you put it in, don't touch it. You know, you can maybe smash it down a little bit like I did to create the circle or to spread it out a little bit more. But yeah, don't touch it until you see the crust. And then it's safe to turn, and only you got to get up under it and just kind of flip it, you know, quickly. You can't really mess with this too much. As you can see, once I turn it, I don't touch it until it's time to come out. So it's just, yeah, you got to let it sit there for at least 2 to 3 minutes before you try to turn. Or the first time I tried to do this, my oil was full of it was a goopy mess. Till I figured out how to do it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you can't move them. So, yeah, that's the tip. Okay, I let these cook a little bit too long, as you can see. My camera went off, and so I was trying to fix it. So these are a little bit crispy, but it's still going to be good, I'm telling you. When they're crispy like that, it just makes it better. It makes it more realistic, too. Yes, ma'am. This is the final look on that. We're going to make one of these burgers. Oh my goodness, I can't. We're going to, how about we sacrifice one of these? Let's sacrifice one of these and look in the inside of it. Just so you can see. Doesn't that kind of look like hamburger? Oh my goodness. Yum, scrumptious. Let's see, where's the other part? All those seasonings. Oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down here. All right. So that's our burgers. Let's put it together. Okay, I toasted my bun. Let's put that on there, and this baby is about to go down easy. So it's kind of rough because my bread and, you know, the way I cut up everything. But, man, I'm telling you. And I mutilated my little avocado over there trying to get it out. But, yum, yum. Let's do this.